Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's explainer. We are breaking down a massive La Liga Round 36 clash at El Sadar, Osasuna, taking on Atlético Madrid. Absolutely. We're talking high-stakes, tactical matchups, a devastating injury crisis, and some serious underlying data to unpack today. If you're here for that deep dive analytics action and want to see exactly how the numbers map to the pitch, lock in. Let's get to it. Quick look at the roadmap for this explainer. We're moving logically from the macro tactics, form, the tactical clash, and that massive injury impact, right down into the micro data.
Exactly. Drilling down into actionable probabilities, expected goals, key fantasy profiles, and capping it all off with goal scorers and card risks. Fast-paced, all killer, no filler.
All right, Section 1, Form and Tactical Clash. Let's set the baseline here because both squads are coming in hot and cold.
And this brilliantly illustrates the tactical battlefield. You've got Osasuna in their 4-2-3-1, and they are absolutely going to press high. They want Aimar Oroz operating in those half spaces, linking play, and just spamming early crosses into the box.
Right, and against that, Atletico is forced into trotting out this heavily patched-up 4-4-2 hybrid. Simeone doesn't have his usual impenetrable low block. There is zero midfield continuity today, so it's essentially pure direct verticality going up against Osasuna's aggressive home setup.
And looking at Osasuna's form, the volatility is honestly staggering. 1 win, 1 draw, 3 defeats in their last 5. 7 goals scored, but 9 conceded.
Yeah, they are highly competitive at El Sadar, pushing bodies forward, but that aggressiveness leaves massive transitional space in behind. It's an open invitation for Atletico to exploit on the counter.
Which brings us to the major disruptor of this matchup. Section 2, the injury crisis impact. Now, what's really interesting about this list is just the sheer volume of the spine that Simeone is missing. We're talking Giménez, Molina, Barrios, Alvarez, Simeone, Cardozo, Gonzalez, plus the suspended Alex Baena. It's a complete wipeout. You simply cannot run a standard predictive model here. You strip out this many core pieces and the underlying metrics basically break down. This is not the physically dominant Atlético Madrid we're used to seeing. The cascading effect of those absences is brutal. Number 1, no Barrios or Baena means they completely lose their central ball progression. They're going to fundamentally struggle to execute progressive carries through the middle thirds. Spot on. Number 2, no Giménez and Molina strips away that trademark defensive aggression and high-line recovery speed. And 3, losing Julian Alvarez means they drop their ultimate complete forward. The entire structural integrity of the system is compromised.
Let's pivot to the micro data. Section 3, Probabilities and Expected Goals. How do these injuries actually warp the baseline math?
Well, the betting markets have literally flipped. Historically, Atlético are your clear favorites, but our blended model actually gives Osasuna the edge here, with a 39% win probability against Atlético's 35%.
With the draw sitting at 26%. The market is aggressively normalizing for Simeone's heavy rotations and, frankly, the intense pressure of playing at El Sadar.
Let's move to the XG and see how this builds out the narrative. The margin here is razor thin. Osasuna projects at 1.35 expected goals, with Atletico trailing just slightly at 1.25.
And mathematically, that makes perfect sense. Without their usual possession control and midfield anchors, Atletico is projected to bleed higher quality chances simply due to Osasuna's relentless crossing volume into the box.
Bringing all those probabilities together, the blended model's primary projected outcome is actually a tight 1-1 draw.
Exactly. Even with severely reduced defensive control and progression, Atletico still packs elite individual quality and clinical finishing in the final third. They can easily punish Osasuna on a quick transition. It's a classic tactical clash, structural crossing volume going head-to-head with individual offensive efficiency.
Let's translate these numbers into actionable insights. Section 4, Key Fantasy Football Profiles.
For Osasuna, Ante Budimir is your premium analytical anchor today. The man thrives on concentrated box touches.
For sure. And when you factor in Osasuna's tactical strategy of just spamming early crosses and fighting for second balls against a rotated defense missing Giménez's aerial dominance, Budimir's set-piece danger makes him an absolute elite fantasy asset for this slate.
On the Atletico side, you have to lock in Thiago Almada. With Baena and Barrios out of the picture, Almada absorbs a massive creative vacuum. He becomes the ultimate high-usage creator, literally doing it all. Set pieces, progressive carries into the final third, operating in those half spaces. If Atletico manages to generate any meaningful offense today, Almada is the engine driving the whole operation.
All right, bringing it home with Section 5, Goal Scorers and Card Risks.
Diving into the specific player matchups and strike threats, the structural environment definitely favors the home side attackers. Ante Budimir leads the pack with a 34% scoring probability.
Trailed by Atletico's Alexander Surloth at 27% and Ademola Lookman at 22%. Now, Lookman is a lethal transition threat against Osasuna's high line, but the raw probability definitely leans heavily toward Osasuna's target man.
So the crucial point is that 34% probability for Budimir. That is a massive number in the data world. Absolutely massive, because context is everything here. You have the most natural finisher operating inside a very established tactical structure, going up against a heavily rotated backline that lacks familiarity. The math just loves that setup. Let's map out the disciplinary battleground. Alejandro Catena is looking at extreme high risk today. He's going to be under immense pressure, tracking Lookman's pace and dealing with Surloth's physicality and open space during those rapid transitions.
Yep, and looking at the rest of the board, Osasuna's Lucas Toro is a medium-high risk as he deals with Almada centrally. Meanwhile, Clement Lenglet sits at medium-high for Atletico, stepping into some absolutely brutal physical duels with Budimir all match long.
When you aggregate those tactical matchups, our discipline projection lands in a very volatile window of 4 to 6 expected total cards. The tactical trigger to watch for here? If Atletico tries to possess the ball but lacks their usual rhythm, Osasuna's aggressive high press is going to force a ton of turnovers. Atletico will literally be forced into taking tactical fouls just to survive the transitions, driving that card count up in a hurry.
So the data clearly points to a gritty, high-transition clash completely defined by who is missing from the pitch.
Exactly, which brings us to the ultimate question. Will Atletico's remaining individual quality be enough to survive, or will they ultimately crack under Osasuna's intense structural pressure at El Sadar?
That is the defining question for this round 36 matchup. Thanks for locking in with us for this explainer. Trust the data, enjoy the tactical battle, and we'll see you on the next one.